The Raptors take on the Celtics Game 6, and that's going to be a 6:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Boston's up 3-2 in the series, and they can advance with a victory here tonight. The Celtics are the 3-point favorite, totals 210, juice to the under. The Raptors are plus $1.25 for an outright win. And if you like Toronto to cover the point spread, they're minus $1.18, catching the 3. We're 9-0 with a push in our last 10 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. Access to those picks is just $2.99. We're also hitting at 75% in our last 8 daily best plays on that site as well. And that package costs just $1.99. For more information on how you can join in on the action, a link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Celtics have failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 6 the Raptors have failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 6 meetings with the Celtics. They've also failed to cover the number in 5 out of their last 8 playoff games. And they might have to go to work tonight without Serge Ibaka, who's been listed as questionable with an ankle. Now, the Raptors have really been stifled offensively by the Celtics, averaging just 97 points per contest in the series. The Raptors rank in the bottom 10 in the league in offensive field goal percentage, bottom 10 in defensive rebounding. They've won just 4 out of their last dozen head-to-head meetings with Boston. They also failed to cover the number in 7 out of their last 10 meetings with the Celtics as well. And speaking of Boston, they've won 7 out of their last 9 playoff games, covering the number in 78% of those contests. The Celtics covered nearly 70% of their ball games away from their home court this season, and they rank in the top 5 in free throw percentage. Jason Tatum scoring 24 points a night in the playoffs, 9 rebounds, 3 assists for Tatum. Kemba Walker's also scoring 22 points a game in the postseason, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for Kemba. And Jaylen Brown finds himself averaging 20 playoff points a game, 7 rebounds, couple assists for Brown. Now, the Celtics are in the top 10 in offensive rebounding, top 3 in defensive field goal percentage. The Celtics are allowing just 106 points per contest for the entire season. They're 11-3 straight up in their last 14 games, 9-2 straight up against the Atlantic Division in their last 11 against the Atlantic Division. They're in the top 10 in defensive rebounding, top 3 in defending the 3-ball. Now, total-wise, Boston's last 7 straight games all stayed under the posted total. 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Toronto also stayed under the line. Meanwhile, the Raptors on the other side saw 7 out of their last 8 stay under the number themselves. Give me the Boston Celtics -3 and the under 210 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Wednesday's NBA playoff basketball action. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. We're halfway there and the weekend is already just right around the corner. Now, before we go ahead and move on with the free content here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are 9-0 with a push in our last 10 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. That membership costs just $2.99. We're also currently 6-2 in our last 8 daily best play tier package picks on that website as well. And that membership costs just $1.99. For more information on how you can join in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at the Clippers-Nuggets Game 4, 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off in the bubble. The Clippers are up 2-1 in the series. They're also the 8.5-point favorite with the total at 220 and a hook. The Nuggets are plus 320 for some money line cash. And if you like Denver to cover the number here, they're minus $1.20, catching the 8.5. But despite being down 2-1 in the series, the Nuggets successfully covered the point spread in both Games 2 and 3 of this series. And as a matter of fact, the Denver Nuggets are 6-1 ATS in their last 7, and they rank in the top 5 in the league in offensive field goal percentage. Jamal Murray scoring 27 points a night in the postseason, 6 rebounds, 7 assists for Murray. Nikola Jokic is also averaging 26 points a game in the playoffs, 9 rebounds, 5 assists for the Joker. And Michael Porter Jr. is averaging a dozen a night in the playoffs himself, 7 rebounds for MPJ. The Nuggets are in the top 5 in the league in defensive rebounding, top 3 in fewest third quarter points allowed, certainly doing a good job making adjustments defensively after halftime. They are taking on a Clippers squad who's covered just 4 out of their last 10 head-to-head matchups with Denver. LA's also failed to cover the point spread in 3 out of their last 6, and they rank in the top half of the league in most fourth quarter points allowed away from home. Now, total-wise, the Clippers' last 4 straight games stayed under the posted total. They also saw 6 out of their last 8 games with the Nuggets stay under the line as well. 5 out of Denver's last 8 contests also stayed under the number. Give me the Underdog Nuggets plus 8.5, keeping this one close, and the under 220 and a hook in that game. And with that, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our Instagram platform, shout out to Almighty Rios, Hammer at Bets, Kyle G23, Planting ACC, AFO Banks, D's Bands, Pat Light, Double G Hockey Shop, JM Highlights, TP29. Shout out to Official Seno, Melee PSR, Air Andy, NFL Memory, and Lindy Intel. And finally, from our YouTube platform, got to give a shout out to I Like Footy, Justin Green, Scott Bott, Malston01, Carter Kraft, Joe Smith, Tyler Germany, Manny G, Gerald Miner, John LaFleur, Simple Water Inc., Scott Kaler, Easy Money Seth, Ant Ruga, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Admar the Pina. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys end up deciding you want to get a package here today, you want to pull the trigger on one of the many tier memberships that we offer on Patreon, just keep in mind, we bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. And that's all detailed right at the purchase screen right before you hit that purchase button. It's at the bottom of it in the terms and conditions. So once again, you'll get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So in this case, if you were to sign up today, you'd get billed on September 9th. And then your next auto bill would be October 1st. And then following that, it would be the first of every month. And you can cancel at any time. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.